During the tumultuous aftermath of Mary and Sheldon's return from Germany, the seventh season of Young Sheldon unveils the secret influence of George on The Big Bang Theory. George's hidden influence on The Big Bang Theory is unveiled in the seventh season of Young Sheldon. Now that Sheldon and Mary have returned to Texas from their 2-month stint in Germany, the story of the Coopers in the prequel can progress appropriately. Much has transpired for the Sheldon family in the 7 episodes that have yet to reach the halfway point of the season. The Huge Bang Theory's George gets exonerated from Sheldon's infidelity scandal story, which involves huge changes for the patriarch. His demise is now the sole arc for the character in the show. In the 12 seasons of The Big Bang Theory, every member of the Cooper family made an appearance at Sheldon's Pasadena home. Since he had already passed away when the main presentation began, George was the only one who did not make a visible appearance. His downfall was sealed, but the details of how he died were kept secret, which young Sheldon must now unravel. The Big Bang Theory storytelling is heavily influenced by the Cooper patriarch, even though they aren't physically there. As young Sheldon discovers in episode 5 of season 7, a Frankenstein's monster and a crazy church guy, Mary felt slightly out of place upon her return home. Little was left for Sheldon's parents to do when Missy took charge and set up a system where everyone pitches in. As she had promised in their correspondence when she was in Germany, Mary begins to feel restless after spending quality time with her husband. At that moment, she becomes enchanted by a new megachurch that appears on her television screen. Her unwavering faith has not wavered, even though she has severed ties with her Medford, Texas congregation when Pastor Jeff expelled her for being too pregnant with Georgie and Mandy. There are specific expectations, particularly about financial contributions, associated with Mary's new church. George disagrees with her substantial accomplishments, but she is free to live according to her convictions. He claims it's basically a fraud and highlights the fact that they can't afford it. Mary remains unmoved, even if Mimo is on George's side. Her husband eventually takes matters into his own hands by contacting Pastor Jeff. Before Mary falls prey to an exploitative church, the patriarch of the Cooper family tries to persuade him to take her back. Pastor Jeff probably wouldn't have even thought about trying to get Mary back if he hadn't meddled and had ulterior motives. Mary returns to her former religious community in the end. In the final episode of Young Sheldon's 7th season, a Frankenstein's monster and a crazy church guy, George, Mimo, Missy, and the Cooper matriarch all go to church, which they haven't done since the start of season 5. Whether this also signifies that Mary will be returning to her previous position as administrator is unclear. Whatever the case may be, she owes this good turn in her life to her spouse. Pastor Jeff probably wouldn't have even thought about trying to get Mary back if he hadn't meddled and had ulterior motives. On The Big Bang Theory, every single Cooper family member was somewhat worse. They were all made more nuanced and complex by young Sheldon. On the one hand, Sheldon and Mary portrayed George as a bad patriarch in the nerd-centric sitcom. On the other, the prequel portrays him as a flawed but loving family man. This disparity has been debated endlessly throughout the years. However, considering young Sheldon's recent years, it is especially important to investigate the discrepancy in the Mary versions.